Okay, so we're here today to have a chat. And today is an interesting conversation for our chat. Renee Petula of my office. Say hello, Renee.
Hi.
We're going to have a chat today about an interesting aspect of life. It's not necessarily the law so much, but about life. And that is how to handle being an immigrant, not speaking English as your first language, and then having to address the medical system, whether you're at a doctor's office, but more importantly, you're at a hospital and you need someone to take care of you and you need for them to get it done right. So that's what our conversation is for today.
Yeah, and you've had some first-hand experience with some of those difficulties of being an immigrant in the medical system, haven't you, Henry?
Yeah, look, I do real well in English these days. I can command the language pretty well, but my first language is Spanish. So I was born in Cuba, and my family went to the United States when I was quite young, and we had to navigate the medical system and the medical world as immigrants, not speaking English. So I do have a little bit of understanding of what it means to try to get your message across to someone who's trying to take care of you.
So what would you say some of the challenges are that face people coming here as immigrants in that medical system?
Well, the first one is that they're not really aware of what the doctor is trying to find out many times. So they don't have a clear understanding of what information the doctor needs to know. So that's the problem. Most of the people who will be in this situation have not been in the country for quite some period of time, have not been acclimated to the customs and the ideas, haven't watched television for hours and hours and hours and know what TV programs say doctors and hospitals want to have. So they have no understanding of what or why this doctor is asking that question.
Yeah. So
first, it's a comprehension problem. So even if they get it translated, they're probably going to still stare at the doctor or the translator going, why is he asking that question? Then they go one step next, which is really great, is did they get the question translated correctly? If they answer, is their answer being translated correctly back? Or better yet, is there even a translator to communicate this whole backwards and forwards? So you've got those three levels occurring right then and there, where I can say very directly, I've been involved in many events where I've had a professional Spanish translator. You know, they're out there, they've got the name tag that says, I am translator. And I've asked my question in English, I've watched my question be translated incorrectly, I've seen the answer coming back from the person in Spanish and watched the answer being translated back to me incorrectly. And here it is coming from a professional translator. So this poor person in a hospital setting has so many barriers to getting their messages forward and backwards clearly.
Yeah, so how would you what advice would you give to an immigrant to manage the kind of communication that's occurring in the foreign language?
I think the greatest opportunity is to just get the professional translator from the hospital to actually be there for you. Get that person to try to help you. But more importantly, see if you can find someone in your extended family or friendship network. Maybe a professional, maybe someone from like a church, maybe from someplace else like a professional institution, who will come down and sit and make sure the translations are real and accurate.
Okay, yeah.
Sometimes it's not that important. If you're going to the doctors and let's say you've maybe injured your hand and you're getting maybe a little bit of sutures done because you've cut your hand, okay, that's one thing. But if you're going down there with a very serious medical problem, or you're going down there because you've got an ongoing condition which you're concerned about, it may be time to call in for such help.
Yeah, so speaking of all of this medical sort of care and treatment, who actually pays for the medical treatment for an immigrant?
It's covered by our Medicare system, so there's not a concern. The hospitals will be getting paid back by Medicare. The translators are part of the service, so ask for them, make sure they're accurate. If you think, even if English is only basic, that the translations are not going across accurately, stop the process. The translations are so important. There are so many claims that we deal with where I can clearly see that what the person was saying was not being understood.
Yeah, it's sad that happens. So what rights do patients have in Australia that an immigrant should know about?
There's no particular legal right. There's nothing that they can cite some section of the law, but there has to be a human right to getting their message understood and translated correctly and being able to be told what the doctor is saying in a manner they can understand. And the biggest difficulty they have is that they're in fear. They're in fear because they don't know the power that they have to demand such. So they sit there and thinking that they're beholden to these people for whatever they give them. That's wrong. They should ask for the best that we can give them, not anything that they can be given.
Well, that's really informative and I think really helpful for immigrants in Australia to sort of navigate the medical system, which can obviously be really scary and sort of foreign for people that haven't been involved in it before. So thanks for that discussion, Henry.
My pleasure. Have a good day.